How do there, guys, and welcome back to Edgar TV. And as the World Championship is now coming in to its Christmas break, the need for some more World Darts Championship content continues. And today we're going to continue with what we did a couple of weeks ago. A couple of weeks ago I did a video on the lowest averages that have taken part on the World Championship stage. You can go back and watch that. I'll put it on the end screen as well if you want to catch that, and I'll link it in the description below. Today what we're going to do is going to look at the people who actually won with the 5 lowest averages. So it's not the lowest ones, it's the 5 lowest winning averages in terms of PDC history. Now there's a couple of surprises here. I mean, the first player, for example, Jamie Harvey of Scotland. Very, very surprising to see Jamie Harvey on this list based on the fact of how good of a dart player Jamie Harvey is. I'll give you a couple of stats here quickly. World Championship 1996, he was a semi-finalist. A semi-finalist in the World Match Play that year as well at Blackpool, 1996. I used to go to the World Match Play all the time, like I mentioned before. I used to get a season ticket. One of the moments I really remember from Jamie Harvey was he said he was going to hit the 9-dart finish. Now, the 9-dart finish prize then was a car. And what Jamie Harvey did, he hit the first 180, he stood at the end of the stage, and he pointed over at the car. I believe he was playing Phil Taylor at the time, and he stood there pointing at the car. I thought, what a moment, what a man. World Grand Prix, he played in that, got to the last 16, played in the Desert Classic, last 32 at the UK Open, played in the BDO World Championships, he played in the World Masters, he's won titles, the Antwerp Open, the Isle of Man, Scottish Masters, WDF Pairs. He's had some good performances over the years. Very surprising to see someone with this much pedigree on the list, winning with just a 72-18 back in 1999 in his first round game against the American Gerald Verrier. He won 3-1 with Gerald in a low 60s. Fourth place on the list, and we're going back to the 2008 World Darts Championship. Now, the reason I say going back to that is because this event has come up a few times. A very surprising year. This is the year John Park beat Kirk Shepherd in the final. We've also visited this a few times for the lowest averages regarding, in total in the World Championship. And it's hit the list again in terms of the lowest winning averages. And also that 2009 one just after this. So 08-09, couple of dodgy games in there. This one goes to Anthony Ford, who won his game 5-2. He only averaged 69.83, but he managed to get a 5-2 win against Nakakawa of Japan, who had a 68.85. Now, this wasn't the only time we saw Ford at the World Championships. He did, in that 2008 event, lose the next round to Raymond Bombardel, you can see on the stage here, but he also played in 2005, and he lost 3-2 to John Verraway. So 2 appearances at the World Championship for Anthony Ford. Now, if you follow this channel, you know me and pronunciation doesn't go down too well, so I'm really not looking forward to attempting this one. Shi Yongsheng. In the 2009, we go back to that event again, 2009 World Championship, played Hans Schneier in the preliminary round. It was a 6-4 win for Shi Yongsheng in that game. So he moved into the main first round proper. And it wasn't the only time we saw him in the first round proper, actually. He played 3 times in the World Darts Championship. He used to always win the Chinese qualifying event. 3 years on the bounce, 2007, 2008, 2009. 2007, lost to the Poi Man, Andy Smith, 3-0, first round. 2008, 3-1 to Alan Warren a little. And then 2009, 3-0 to Mervyn King. He was due to play a 4th successive event, but had to withdraw due to visa issues. So actually dominated that qualifying event for some years, and then don't seem to be able to find anything regarding his play after that. So maybe that withdrawal, the visa issues, was the thing that knocked him and made him not want to try this anymore. Shi Yongsheng, 68.87, 3rd place on the list. Now, like with the first one with Jamie Harvey, sometimes you get a surprise on this list, and this one's that as well. Erwin Ekata. Now, you might not be too familiar with the name because he played sort of the late 2000s, but he actually played in the 2006 World Darts Championship, beating Darren Webster in the first round before losing 4-1 to Gary Weldon, and in the 2008 World Championship as well. Now, this is the one again, that 08-09 era, where we've got that result. He won his preliminary game against Alan Bolton 5-0 with a 63.15 average. Sounds quite low, exactly. However, much better than that. Came back in the first round, beat Colin Osborne, who at the time was one of the top players around. 92.58 victory there, before going down just 4-3 to Barry Bates. So a 3-1 win against Colin Osborne in the next round after that. Very good. Never gone out in the first round either. Always got through that first round game. Very surprising to see him on the list with just an average of 63.15, but did take that game in the prelim game 5-0. Final one on this list in first place, and yeah, it's coming from that same era, 08-09. You'll see here, preliminary round. We covered this game in the lowest averages on the World Championship stage, which means one of them had to win the game, and there it is. Warren French winning with a 54.95. Won his prelim game 5-3. Then went on to play Dennis Priestley, which he lost 3-0. Did improve his average up to a 76, but lost that one with won that one, shall I say, with a mid-50 average. So let's put them on the side of the screen. So that's your lowest 5 winning averages so far at the PDC World Darts Championship. Like I said before, I don't think these are going to change too much because the format being much longer now. Most of these would have happened in prelim games when the format was a lot shorter. You don't have time to settle. You don't have time to recover a bad performance or a bad average like you do now. You get to go off stage, have breaks, recoup, all those different things. I guarantee you not one of these players will be bothered about that. The most important thing when you're playing the World Championship stage is winning. I'd be more than happy to throw a 55 average and win rather than lose with a 100 average. It's all about results. Hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please do pop a like on it just underneath me here. That's a thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't done so already, and I'll see you soon for some more Edgar TV. Edgar TV.